Good morning. Sorry. It's I've entitled this Is it a gift? Question mark. If so, show some gratitude. Oh, it is Tuesday, the day when we chew. That's what they named it after. You know. Isn't it? Oh, okay. Could be something to do with the planets or something else. We're barely scratching the surface, aren't we? I mean, when you think about it, there's no way that we're going to actually know everything because there's so much things to know. Bad English. So many things to know. How can we possibly know? But we have a good go at it, don't we? And we're having fun doing it. If you're not having fun doing it, then you're doing it wrong. It's not that it's all going to be perpetual fun, but you know, in the moment when you choose, oh my God, this is going to be awful, you know, and it's like you've done it so many times and yet you keep doing it. Why? What is it? What's the matter? Do you not think that you're going to have bliss in your life at all? No bliss. No bliss oblige. It's Tuesday, February 18th, 2025. And everything's fine. Working on a new piece of music. Actually, it's pertaining a little to my little chat this morning, which is about time and space, you know, the space we have for life. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let me see how close I can get without touching. Ooh. Oh, it's over. The space we have for life, the time we have for life, time and space. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't mean to be sort of pointing fingers at anybody except myself, but I have to remind myself some days because, you know, my only interactions yesterday were, who did I talk to yesterday? Let's see how many people I talked to yesterday. I mean, actually talked to, like actually physically sat down or stood and chatted like directly with. Probably about 10. Sure. Yeah, probably about 10 people, 5 of whom I know moderately well, and 5 of whom are complete strangers or strangers that I see in a store occasionally, something like that, you know. So we have this interaction with other humans, and if you recognize that being around that person or those people, you know, specifically, I mean, try and be as specific as possible and pinpoint, you know, it might be a regular bunch of people or it might be an irregular person or bunch of people, but notice your mood change, your mood change in their presence. Don't overly analyze it, but just recognize how it makes you feel to interact with those people on a regular basis. The last human interaction I had yesterday was with somebody I see fairly regularly. And that person, I mean, if I try not to think about it and I just go with my feelings, that person is very miserable, very, very miserable person. And how does it make me feel? Does it actually make me feel better to be around somebody who's as miserable as this person I interact with? Does it make me feel better? That's a dangerous place to be, isn't it? I'm getting a feeling of, I don't want to use the word superiority or inferiority. It's not a measure. Well, it kind of is a measuring comparison. Everything's a comparison study. If you don't have black, you can't have white, you can't have red, blue, So, but I try and minimize that as well. So it's like, if it makes me feel better being around people who are genuinely miserable, that's a very dangerous place to be. That's incredibly dangerous, because that's your arrogance, Nigel. Because you, somewhere deep within you, believe you can help them. Who the fuck do you think you are? But if you sit with that person for long enough and get to know them well enough, you actually might start to gravitate towards their feelings. And that's also a very dangerous place, because that's ultimate empathy. When you feel through them, you start to live vicariously through your interaction with them, and you start to take on their emotional interaction as your own. Well, who the fuck do you think you are? That's vampirism. That's you becoming a parasite to their misery. Who the fuck do you think you are? Come on, Nigel. Wake the fuck up. So what? So what do you do? How do you deal with it? I mean, you're going to interact. Are you going to be arrogant and say, "Oh, I can fix this person," or are you going to be supplicant and go, "I should feel what they feel"? Oh my god! No, you're going to look at it objectively and go, or subjectively, sorry, but you're going to look at it and you're going to, what is it about my presence that affects them? Is it me that they're miserable around? Is it me that makes them miserable? I mean, they moan and complain about all the other stuff, but really, are they only doing that because they know that I'm going to soak it up, or I'm going to try and help them, or I'm going to try and fix it? Are they purposefully leeching on their emotions onto yours? And don't you want that? Because there are people out there that lift your spirit, and there are many, but we have to watch out. I mean, I have a friend who's actually taken on a very dark persona. He's purposely calling himself by a name of darkness, so that whatever. I'm not going to name names because it's unfair on him, but he's actually taken on the mantle of like, there are no good human interactions. I'm just going to do what I do because I want to do it. Now, at first, I was like, wow, that's fucked up, because I thought I could fix or help fix his outlook on life, because we have a short human experience, So I wanted to try and get him to look at it from a different angle. Hi, Conrad. So I was trying to get him to look at it from a different angle, and I've tried many ways. I've interacted with him like on the physical plane, and we've sat and we've talked. We've gone to see bands together, creative. We've gone out for meals. I've met his family. I've been down to where he lives. He's been up to where I live. We've had quite a lot of interaction, and yet his whole shtick on life right now is one of miserable existence, like choosing literally to go, I just don't like humans. Yahweh, mate. We all struggle with this at times. There are periods in your life when, your roller coaster of life, which you're in control of, right? Your roller coaster of life. You're on it. It's quite a smooth ride. And then there are times when you go, wait a minute, I lost control a bit. Oh, it's still a roller coaster, but it's coming like boom, 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 boom. And you have to be in a position to deal with that. But it's really at those times when everything's going so fast and you can't put the brake on for some reason. You're pulling at the handbrake, you're putting your foot down on the brake, and you're like, whoa, slow this down. But it's at those times when you desperately need to just go separate from the crowd, to just separate yourself and recognize that you're the person who's really in charge of your own roller coaster. That's really difficult for a lot of people, because we do interact and we have to interact. Otherwise, we're not having the full human experience. We might as well be born into a cave and sit there and go, that life looks unpredictable. The one outside the cave, that one's unpredictable. Well, it's time to exit the cave. Ladies and gentlemen, exit the cave. Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready, ready. Are we ever ready? I mean, we come in with like a boom, don't we? You're in this warm cave of the womb, and you're in this, and the heartbeat, oh my gosh. And then, whoops. And then next thing, whoa. Are we ever ready? I don't want it to be a shock. Shock. I don't want it to be that. I want it to be a gentle interaction. But that's not up to me, is it? It's up to others. Because if I'm entering the fray, boom, if I'm interacting, I don't want control of everybody else. I just want to interact and enjoy and have fun. And that's really difficult because everybody has their own measure of what that is. And you're like, ooh, how can I stay grateful? Because gratitude is very important. I'm grateful for my experiences. Are they all fantastically good? No. Are they all fantastically bad? No. Are they all fantastic? Yes. because it's an exciting adventure, and if it isn't an adventure and you're not being excited by it, you're doing it wrong. Yeah. It's got to be exciting, and it's got to be, for me, it's got to be exciting. For me, it's got to be an adventure. Like, really, just like, wow, I've never done this before. I'm 150,000 years old, and I've never done this before. I'm working on a new piece of music that's actually interesting, and I'm really loving it. Got some lyrics that just like flowed off the pen, just tiny, but I've got a nice rhythm going, and I'm like, ooh. I did meet somebody yesterday who introduced me to some music that I hadn't heard before. It was in a similar vein to stuff that I do know, but I really liked it. I thought, oh, this is good. So that was nice. Yeah. We've got to keep our interactions as much as possible exciting, adventurous, and real. So one foot in reality, the other in creating the fantasy of tomorrow, because we don't know what tomorrow brings. Oh, another day. Another day. Wow. 24 hours of glorious fun. Well, some. So how you doing, comrade? Are you okay? Is there anything you need? Anything at all? Anything I can help you with? See, I'm doing it already. I'm already saying I can help Conrad when Conrad could be helping me. He actually is, very much. So, waiting through time. Yeah. My new song is Mother Earth and Father Time. I used to be very concerned about, not very concerned, I used to have some concern about how my demise would come about. You know, how, ooh, better not live there. There's too many people that could kill me. You know, those sort of like unmitigated but kind of value judgment calls that you make. You know when you're in a bad neighborhood, but you exaggerate it into, well, they're going to kill me. Just like 0.0001% of psychopaths in the world. Sure, there are people that would kill you, but they're not psychopaths. They're not people that would do it just to a complete stranger for being. I mean, they're motivated by other stuff. But so it's an unmitigated fear in a way. But you have to be aware that you might get robbed or whatever. But what I'm saying is, if you have your wits about you, if you're a person who has their wits about you, you should venture out into places where you thought were going to be challenging for your personality, type of person you are. I mean, if you're interacting with the same 4 people every day, I think that's probably my parents. Suddenly the song's about Father Time, Mother Earth. My parents, my dad especially, limited his interaction where, and they lived in 1, 2, 3, 4 different houses in the same town, very small town that he was born in. So he limited his interaction. He found out who the nearest, grocery store, I mean, he had occasional adventures, but he was mostly pushed into those by his children or by his wife, my mum. But he was very put off in youth. His youthful upbringing allowed him very limited view of the world, and he was forced to go into the army post Second World War. No, not during conflict, although there was some conflict where he was posted abroad. So his value judgment went from being a small boy in a small town to being in a uniform and being harassed by foreigners in their own land, not understanding why they're upset at you for being on there. I mean, it's so his initiation into adulthood was, gosh, so he limited his life as much as possible after that. And he was very dominant and strong and kind and loving in his own way. And I truly appreciate my mother and father, and I love them very much. But their view of the world is very different from mine. They did their level best, you know, at the time, and that's great. And I really, truly appreciate it. I'm very grateful. But the point is, I broke the chain. I didn't want to repeat their life choices. But in a way, my dad did repeat his father's life choices. And that's how it was, because they had a limited interaction into the adventure of life. They didn't interact with people from other countries. Now the world is shrunk down or expanded into a different way. I mean, we can go anywhere we want, but it's all this like expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction. And at the moment, I'm feeling here where I am in the world. What, you know, I'm a little dot on a big ball, you know. But that little where I've chosen to place myself, I feel that contracting now, and I'm like, whoa, no, push out. So as soon as I feel the contraction, I push out. I want a more expansive view. I want to see it all. So that language I was just using, expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction, this is the birth canal. Every day. So I'm feeling the contraction. As soon as I feel an expansion, I'm going. This is how we do it. This is the way in which we need to continue the adventure, as we have to push through this birth canal. And if we are aware of it as, wow, to greet my gift of unconditional love, hold on to it and go. It's almost like unconditional love is the parachute necessary for jumping out the back of this plane. Oh dear, what the hell is he talking about? He's going all over the shop. I'm talking about rebirth, I suppose. But it'd be lovely to be reborn every day and understand some of your previous life experience, because there are things you wouldn't do. I mean, you know, in retrospect, I wouldn't keep making that same mistake. Oh, wait a minute. Is this the same mistake? Talking to the screen? Is this it? Awareness of your own mistakes, awareness of other people's mistakes, awareness that we can't always shake the mantle of social interactions chains. because there are going to be rules and regulations for social interaction. If there weren't, I would be arrested immediately. I know that, because I don't want to wear clothes. I just literally do not want to wear clothes. I'd wear shoes to stop my feet from getting in the dirt and grit too much, because the soles of my feet are very soft and tender, and they would be my only contact with the physicality of this earth we're on. And there's lots of things to stand on which I don't want to stand on. So I'd probably wear shoes, but I probably wouldn't wear another stitch. It's clothing optional would be my choice. It's not nobody else, but it's nothing. I mean, it's just this. It's kind of weird. It's also symbolic of freedom for me. Freedom from any body dysmorphia. Freedom from oh, look at him, look what he's wearing. Freedom from judgment. I mean, it's just real. It's like, this is how I came in, not with the shoes on, of course, but this is how I came in. I just want that. Freedom is a concept for which I crave. So yeah, liberation from clothing. And now I'm going to sound like a pervert or something, so it's like, whatever. Everybody's always judging everybody else. Where are your standards? Come out and enjoy this unconditional love, and enjoy this wonderful, abundant planet, and realize that it's the most amazing place with the most amazing experiences. But you got to keep going, and you got to keep going and going and going as long as you can. But you can't extend it past the end point. It's an eternal journey that you're experiencing a short part of as a human, and you might repeat it. I don't know. I mean, at the end of this human experience, I don't know. I feel that it will be eternal. I'm going to try and explain eternity. Okay, that's my morning pontification. I'm going to get back to working on my piece of music. I think it's kind of nearly finished. I'm working in studio headphones this morning. Actually, I should wait till my neighbors are up, and I should blast it out of the bigger speakers just to check all the balances and everything. Yeah, before I finish the mix and the mastering. But you want to hear a little bit of it? No, not yet. You have a good day too, comrade, and really just live, love, life, mate. I know you spend a lot of time doing your programming and doing your stuff, being the digital architect for our parallel future of digital and organic, working with technology. And I know you're doing a lot of that, and I think I admire that. But remember to set aside some time for love. It's important. Love, live, life. Cheers then. That'll do. Bye.